Do you want to live amongst 200 signs on one corner?
I disagree with your premise because, for example, when I ran for office, I put signs up. I went to the property owner. Everywhere I went to the property owner, said, "Can I put my sign up?"
No.
After
Political
I took
signs
them
are
down.
political signs are a whole different thing.
I understand, and that's what I'm coming to you about when I talked about, dealing with Jim Coleman and stuff. But they were taking my signs down, and I went to the DOT. I went to Black Mountain. I got permission to put my signs up in the right of way. I got my.
People unknowingly give permission when they don't have the authority to give permission. Property owners say, "Oh, sure, I ran into that
Well, that's why I went
a
to the-
lot." Because
the
people will
government.
say, "Well, I have permission to put." The property owner said, "I have permission to put these signs up." The property owner doesn't necessarily have the authority to give you that permission.
I guess I'd say, listen to what you're saying. You don't have the authority to do something with your own property that you're paying taxes on.
That's a whole different issue.
It is a private property
That's a
rights
whole
issue. And if you support a candidate and you want to put that candidate's sign up there, you should be able to do it on your own property.
You can.
If they wanna put it up on the road.
Again, political signs come completely different from pure advertising signs.
Oh, and I understand that.
That's what you need to understand.
But if that company, say we buy houses, if they go to that homeowner and say, "Hey, can we put this sign up in front of your home?" Or if they go to, say, a Shell gas station, and on that corner, there's a little bit of grass right there, and they go to the Shell gas station owner and say, "Hey, can we put this sign up on your property?"
No.
And they say, but they say yes.
No.
But it's
So you're
illegal.
telling,
It's
you're,
It
illegal.
is
but you're
illegal.
saying, but
Do
you're
you-
saying that the government can tell that
Yes.
private property owner
Yes.
what they can or can't do with their property.
Do you understand?
The city council has passed an ordinance. and the
Oh,
county
I
passed
understand.
ordinance for
I
these
understand
things
those
not to do.
ordinances.
Okay.
I think those ordinances are
Okay.
illegal.
Where's the enforcement at? Regardless, they've got something, where's the enforcement?
Do you understand why they can't be in right of way? One reason they can't be, and that is because, say you're trying to make a turn. I have a corner down not far from where I live on Gerber and Hendersonville Road, and the Pizza Hut and the different little businesses in there were like 2 or 3 stores there. I could not make a safe right-hand turn because I'm not in a big, tall SUV. I'm in a low station wagon.
understand.
Because
Well, most
I
of
couldn't
these are
see
small.
past the sign.
Most of
So
these are
that's
all-
one
And
reason.
there's a big safety issue, like she's saying here, where people are stopping.
Well, let's bring up another safety issue.
And
Whoa. Let's bring up another safety issue. Because I'm all for safety. Now, I'm all for property rights. But I think the law you're all talking about in Buncombe County is a temporary sign is permissible for a short amount of time.
For two
And
days.
what is happening in a lot of cases, they're put up as temporary, but then they're never pulled
They're
down.
abandoned.
And that's the problem now.
I think
Another
that's the
thing,
problem.
that is the problem. That's what he was talking about not enforcing the law. Next, let's look at something. Safety
With an
issue.
outright ban on
No,
it,
let's
I
look,
think
go
it's
on, let's go to the safety issue. Because I want to bring this up, and very obvious this lady is very, very concerned. And ma'am, your name is, and I'm sorry,
June Patterson.
June Patterson.
And I
Very-
represent Stop the Signs.
Very obviously, she's passionate about this. As you can see, all the signs we have here in the hall. Very obviously, she came up to the county commissioner meeting to address them with this concern. I would like to ask her to think about something else too, for safety. And I've had this happen to me in Asheville several times. Now that we're planting trees in that margin next to the sidewalk,
Required.
there's many a place where you pull out, you cannot see
That's
at
true.
all around the tree.
That's true.
And the trees are being planted and not being pruned up high enough so you can see underneath them to see the traffic. So not only are citizens and businesses violating laws and creating hazards, we have the actual government itself creating a hazard. So I'm all for safety.
Well, and they're requiring it. For example, I work with a landscaper every once in a while at, say, the hot spot on Lester Highway. The city, because that's in the ETJ, the city required them to bring the trees all the way to the edge of the road.
All the way to the edge of the road, and they're making them plant the trees right at the edge. As a matter of fact, if you go out Patton Avenue across from used to be the old Lowe's, everything in Asheville is around something
Oh,
old.
yeah. The old whatever,
The United
yeah.
Way there, whatever it is, they take in clothes. Right across Goodwill,
Oh,
you've got that northern tube coming out of Northern too. If you're trying to look back toward Asheville, you can't see doodly squat for those trees they've had to plant there. And they even in parking lots at Weaverville, in the parking lots, they have planted low-growing shrubs in front of the Ace Hardware. So when you're driving through the parking lot, you can't see if somebody's coming down and going to run over you.
Right.
And I understand that, but I'd like to reiterate that tree and signs are two different things. For
Well,
example, if you have that in a wire.
Well, let's look down at these signs a minute, though. Let's look at each individual sign. Pink buys houses. Now, that's a temporary sign, supposedly. How many of those do you see in Buncombe County, all over the place, that stay there forever?
Forever.
They're not temporary.
They're not.
So if we have a law in the books that says they got to be temporary, see, because I propose this, Eric. I propose that you both are right. I propose that if the government enforced the laws that they passed 100%, the laws might become more amenable to providing information and more amenable to safety instead of being.
And actually, not quite 2 years ago, I believe it was November 2 years ago, Buncombe County did pass, these are referred to as snipe signs. They did pass a snipe sign ordinance that said they are not allowed, period. So it's not, this type of sign is not considered a temporary. There are other signs that are temporary, that are allowable for a period of time. And of course, political signs fall under a whole different.
Well, see,
realm.
I have a theory for political signs too. One of the things I think should be done for political signs, because I've run for office, and it's probably the most economical way to get your name out there. I think what they ought to do with political signs is give you permission to place them in the right of way of the state, provided you do not place them at the corner where you're going to block the view, and charge you $100 per county. Per county. Here's why. No, here's why. $100 per county. Because what would happen is you look at, just right now in Buncombe County, you're going to have the 5 county commissioners and about 10 or 15 officers. They would pick up $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 off that $100, and then let their staff that drive pickups pick up those signs at a certain appointed time. And because it's impossible as a candidate to pick them all up because people want to put them out for you so you don't know where they're at.
Right.
So if they did that, that would be a mechanism. Now, if you were going to run statewide, there's 100 counties. So what would that cost you?
Well, that's.
$10,000. But if you're going to run for a statewide office, $10,000 is nothing as far as what you're going to spend in your campaign, and to have the ability to put the signs on the high-traveled interstate highways where they should be, back off the road, and you could have your law where they got to be 8 foot from the road or whatever. See, I think there are solutions, but I think there are solutions that would meet for political signs. These kind of signs are temporary, and if they're left up, we've already got laws on the books to make them illegal when they stay up over a long length of time.
And one of the reasons they proliferated, and one of the reasons they become abandoned is because they are so inexpensive. And this is plastic. This stays in the environment forever. A long time ago, the real estate signs that people put up used to cost for the screen printing and design. They were $100, $125. You can now get these, if you get 100 or a couple hundred of them, for $4 or $5 a piece. And so you think people are going to drive around at $3 a gallon gas and go pick up their $3 sign? I don't think so.
Well, it's very obvious when you start looking at the sign laws, you have a situation where those that have the power get the favorable rules. That's why real estate signs are permissible anywhere.
They are not. And that's another problem, is that people don't know the laws, and again, they're not enforced. Real estate signs are only permissible to the next corner